1, 2, let's go. Let's go. I know, I'm sorry. Eric Smith said, hey, you got to do it. You're doing another late live. My goodness. It's like 1 a.m. on the East Coast, but hey, I couldn't fit it in before. If somebody would have told me what Elon Musk was going to do, he did this back in March. It just came out. If someone would have told me, I would have called off work and I would have had a live, an 8-hour live. That's how much I have to talk about this topic. I've heard a lot of people talking about this. I haven't heard anybody talk about how important this is. It's more important than I feel other people are making it. We're popping bottles tonight. That's how big this is. Now, I pop bottles every night. I do a live. Otherwise, I'd be asleep on the mic. But no, this is a special one. We're popping. You hear this? Yeah. It's one of those nights. Elon is done playing games with y'all. He's not playing games right now. It's serious. When Elon gets involved, it's serious. We're popping bottles tonight. Tesla fans, we're popping bottles tonight. Neuralink fans, we're popping bottles tonight. SpaceX, Boring Company even. We're white-pilled tonight because of the news. That's how big it is. MAGA should be popping bottles tonight. Steve Bannon should be popping bottles. Alex Jones. I know he's got a lot going on, so maybe he's not popping bottles, but maybe it'll make him feel a little bit better for a second. He's got a lot going on. But a lot of it is they're trying to drain the resources out of these people, their reach and their resources. For one day, we got good news. Let's celebrate it. Let's soak it up. The first news I found out for the day was this. I started my day listening to my dude, Warren Redlick, and that's how I found out that Elon did this. And when I found out and I heard the news, even though I've been following everything, I thought it was fake. I was like, is this one of those lame April Fool's leftovers? I said they should call April Fool's Day like Cornball Day. Now, there's some funny stuff out there. Don't get me wrong. It's time to celebrate. If it weren't for copyright, you'd be hearing celebration time in the background right now through the whole show. I don't know how long it's going to go. We'll see how long it goes. I got a lot to say. If it weren't for copyright, you would hear celebration by Kool and the Gang. You would hear it for at least an hour straight on a loop, and you would hate me and you would drop off the live, but I would be feeling really good. Let's go. Elon Musk is out here fooling. You know how sometimes you might make a purchase like, oh, you go to the store. Maybe you go to Home Depot and it's like you gotta. I'm kind of in the situation. I'm going to get an electric lawnmower because that's all you can get now at Home Depot that I see. Those are the ones you mostly see now. But I'm like, oh, my gas mower, it works, but it would be nice to have one of those newer mowers. You know what? I'm just going to pick me up one of those new lawnmowers. That's how Elon Musk picks up 9.2% of Twitter just on a whim, just 3 billion. What? Oh, yeah, 3 billion. There you go. 9.2% ownership. And then on top of that, I'll make a bill because I'm just Elon. He made a bill off of he didn't cash out, but if Biden's proposal went through, he would have to pay unrealized capital gains tax on the $1 million he made in a day. It's time, man. It's time to say. Eric July posted earlier today. Eric July posted something like to the effect of, we're going to win. And he does that every once in a while. He'll go on Twitter and he'll just post. And I like that he really does that because it's like a pick me up. And he'll post like, hey, did you get your workout in and all that? Nah, E. I'm not getting my workouts in, man. I'm drinking Monsters at 11. So I'm not. I have a lot. I'm a work in progress. Let's just say that. But Eric July will post. He will say, "We're gonna win," and that's the whole post. And it confuses people because some people are like, "Who's gonna win? What's gonna win?" I replied to it and I said, I know again I'm not speaking for Eric July for damn sure. He doesn't need anybody to speak for him. I'm speaking for me. For me, what I interpret from that, and Eric puts it out there, you interpret it however you want to interpret it. I interpret it, we're going to win by saying that those who value liberty, those who prioritize liberty, because you can say you value liberty, but it might be number 10 on your top 10. No. If you put liberty number 1, that's what I think about when Eric July says we're going to win. So if you're with me here on this late night live, popping bottles, celebrating Elon Musk, making moves, power moves. If you're on here celebrating that with me, you might be in that group that puts a freedom number 1. So that's who the we is. And what do we win? Liberty in the long run. And this, I remain optimistic long term. But I'll be honest, I don't know what that looks like. How do people win? I don't know. So right now, this is a step. I'm not celebrating that we won anything. It's like we got a first down. That's what it is. And it's a team that has been getting their ass kicked for season after season after season. And we got a first down. So I'm going to celebrate. I'm not going to celebrate too much. But I'm going to be like, yes, okay, we got there. How do we get more first downs? Elon Musk is out here quarterbacking the team. So he's like the Tom Brady right now. He's not the whole team. He's almost like the coach or the Tom Brady. He's a leader on the team. And this is the start of momentum. You might be down 60 points in the third quarter, but you're not giving up. I'm not giving up. And I replied in that thread. I really encourage people to go onto that thread. Because when you say, Eric July says something to the effect of, we're going to win. How you interpret it. So that's all he said. So when people write 140 words and, a lot of words to it, what you're doing is giving insight to what's in your head, not Eric July's head. And people are like, well, no, they ruined Star Trek. They ruined Star Wars. They ruined, all these things that, DC, Marvel, and all these things that we loved. And then I said, we're going to create new and better things. Don't worry about it. Those things are dead. And I will give young July a lot of credit. He's helped me see that view, like put them in the casket, put them 6 feet under. It was great while they were around, but they're dead now. They're gone. And that's comic books and all entertainment, but that goes towards a lot of different things. And people might be saying, calm down, it's only 9. And if that's your response, I'm going to say, really? This is my wheelhouse right here. Like, this is the craziest story. I seriously could do 8 hours on this story. And I'm not a talkative guy normally at all, even with politics and stuff. I am a big follower of Elon Musk. I'm a big, following news and stuff of Tesla and all of the companies that really could be one company that he's running. And we'll talk about his mission, why this is happening. Thanks, everybody, coming in the chat. Man, we're popping bottles tonight. This is a white pill moment. It's one topic. Elon not buying Twitter, but purchasing 9.2% of Twitter. I'm going to tell you why it's important and why it's more important than anybody that I've heard talk about it. I don't know why they're underselling it, but maybe I'm wrong. But it is my wheelhouse. The intersectionality, if I could channel my inner Dr. Ibram X. Kendi, the intersectionality, or Kimberly Crenshaw, the intersectionality of Tesla going to Mars, making the human species multiplanetary, and Elon Musk buying Twitter. It is all connected, and I will get to that. Elon Musk doesn't do anything that doesn't help his mission to make the human species multiplanetary. Period. Nothing. Nothing substantial. And this is substantial. Let's take the pill. Take the white pill. Swallow it. Enjoy it. The red pill is not fun. It's easier with the blue pill. You can taste the steak, like my man, I forgot what his name was. Tank? No, not Tank. I forgot. I always forget his name in the Matrix. He tastes the steak. Oh, the steak's good. I know it's fake, but it's good. That's the easier route. So a lot of people on the channel taking the red pill or in the process of it, like me, I don't know if I've had the full red pill. I'm still digesting it. It takes some time. That's not easy. To look back at how lost you were once and how everything you thought was real is now not real, and how pretty much you've been lied to the whole way. And then you look at the future and you're like, damn, it's not many people out here that see what you see. And you're like, I'm kind of alone. We've got a white pill. Michael Malice's next book is going to be The White Pill. I think that's the title of the next book. He's just so in tune with what we need right now. I think very highly of Michael Malice. And this is a white pill moment. I'm going to tell you why 9.2% is not something to sneeze at. Elon Musk doesn't throw money around. You might say, calm down. You can't trust a billionaire. Okay. No argument here. Elon is an inspiration to me. I've got my kids' books about Elon, about life, and she's probably tired of hearing about Tesla. But like days on today, when the stock goes up, I kind of say, hey, you remember what I told you when the stock was like 20 times lower than it is now? And we'd be on a beach somewhere sipping on something if we had put no, I don't want to get into that. But what my point is, Elon is an inspiration to me. I'm not joking about that. But I'm no fool. I don't trust some random billionaire dude. It's not about trust. It's about a first down. It's kind of like we're on a football team. Everybody's not best friends, like you trust them with your life type of stuff. If a dude makes a good catch on your team, give him some dap. That doesn't mean I'm trusting my life with him. He's a coworker. And in this realm, he's on the right side. That's what I care about. Embrace it. Don't fight it. Let's go. So you can have opinion. I'm not a fan of billionaires having to do things and buy things up. And the dude owns SpaceX and Neuralink and Tesla and Boring Company. He's going to put a chip in your brain and you're going to love it. He's got the most exciting car on the market by far. He's going to be a trillionaire. And I understand you're like, dang, really? Are you cheering? Are you popping bottles while you're in your basement trying to struggle with your audio? Like you popping bottles for a billionaire? Yeah, I am. It's not for a billionaire. It's for what he's doing. I don't know him. And I'm going to get into it. I know he's not doing this out of the kindness of his heart. I understand that. But we have interest conversion. I almost sound like I believe in critical race theory. I use intersectionality, interest conversion. What's next? No, I'm serious about this. Get in the game. They've got the institutions. They've got the government under their belt. They've got the asset management companies under their belt managing all the money. The Federal Reserve. They've got all these things, the global elitists, and they've got their own billionaires too. So if you want to get involved in this game, you're going to need a billionaire on your side. Now, I think it could be one even without one, but it'd be much harder. Wouldn't you want a billionaire on your side? If they have nukes, we need nukes. It's not that complicated. I don't like nukes. I'm just saying they already got nukes. So we need a nuke too. If we want to, this is chess. How are we going to play chess when their pieces move better than ours? That's not going to work. They got more pieces. How does that even work? Take out a knight, they got another knight. The game is not played with the same rules. So there might be a moment where I align with a Elon Musk or Peter Thiel, and there might be moments where I'm like, F you. I'm not rocking with you. I can flip on a dime just like that. I'm not attached to anybody. And I have criticized Elon before on how he played the pump and dump game, as far as raising and decreasing on purpose the price, in my opinion, of certain cryptocurrencies. I have no problem criticizing him. So he's got a lot of responsibility with where he's going, a lot of expectations for where he's going to go with this. So we gotta hold him accountable. No different than like an elected official. They got tons of non-elected officials making all kinds of money moves and power moves, and you think that you're going to counter that with what? Just the democratic process? No, you're going to need leaders. Everybody has a part. And that was probably my biggest part with the problem with the talented 10th. It was more that you focused on the 10% that would lead in the way that you define lead, W-E-B, Du Bois. But what about all the other top 10% people that will be needed to make this movement go? And Elon has that role. You watching this video, you have your role. I just had River from Right Left of Center on earlier today and really enjoyed the conversation. She has her role. There's talents and skills that she has that nobody has like that. Everybody has their role. I feel like this is like Con Air. Like Elon's coming in, and I know I'm making assumptions, but these things better happen. Or I'm not going to just abandon Elon and say everything he does is wrong, but these are the expectations, E. You chose this life. You got those billions. What I'm talking about is, when is Trump coming back? You're on the clock, E. We're popping bottles tonight. You're on the clock, though. I'm going to give you tomorrow. We're going to start the clock. It's past tomorrow. In my time, it's 11:18. But on the East Coast, if you're on the East Coast watching, thanks for stopping by, everybody in the chat. If you're in here, and I'm sorry, I haven't even looked at the comments yet. We're going to take breaks, look at the comments, and do it. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to talk about, right now, I'm just talking about celebration, white pill, get hype. Then I'm going to talk about what's happening. Then I'm going to talk about why it's happening. And then I'm going to talk about what type of creative things Elon could be doing with this purchase. This purchase is much bigger than Twitter. And there's a point of contention that I've always had with Eric July. He's talked about in the past how Twitter is a dead platform. And I've always disagreed with him on that. I said Twitter is the most powerful platform. It's the most powerful. It is a political, social war zone. That's the platform where you see the 10%, the talented 10th of populist, libertarian, and whatever, socialites, that's the only platform where they all combine. And even with the algorithm and echo chambers, they clash. It's a war zone. And it's the most important, it's the most simple, it's almost like radio. And that's all YouTube is it's more like TV because you got video too, but you can do just audio like podcasts. Radio's not dead. I grew up watching radio, and I always talk about late great legends like Rush Limbaugh and Art Bell, being influenced by them. That's all podcasts are. That's all the Tim Pool Show is. It's just a simulcast. It's not what are you watching on the video? What are you watching this on? It's just radio. That's all this is. I haven't even put anything on the screen. So my point is, don't look at Twitter and say, oh, it's just text and there's not much. Instagram has pictures. Twitter is powerful. Why would the richest man in the world only really rock with one platform? And the platform he rocks with is Twitter. Always has rocked with it. Probably got 80 million followers or something like that now. Why is that? Because he feels it's a very useful platform. He sees the potential in it. So when I say E now, I'm talking about Elon. Elon, we're on the first name basis now because you just entered the game. You just brought us all with you. When is Trump coming back, bro? You on the clock. Now, I know he has 9%. I'm going to get to that. But you're on the clock. I want to see Dr. Naomi Wolf back on Twitter. That's one of my favorite people to listen to follow. When's Steve Bannon coming back? Wait for this name. Wait for this name. When is young Nicholas J. Fuentes coming back? Those are the expectations, Elon. I am not joking. I am not joking, bro. They need to be coming back. All of them. Everyone that was banned. My dude, Michael P. Singer, got banned on Twitter. Got his book right here, Snake Oil. Xi Jinping shut down the world. When is he coming back on Twitter? When's it happening? Let's go. Let's go. It's time. I'm trying to think how much time I'm going to get Elon to get everyone back on, the gang back together. When are you breaking them out of Twitter jail, Elon? When's Babylon B going to come back? And what's their first joke going to be? We're back, bitches. Let's go. We cutting up tonight. Man. This is a special night. I don't know. This is a special night. We're going to look back at Elon purchased these. He got up to 9.2% on March 14th. If you look at the filing, it's like a 13G SEC form or something like that. But we found out, to my knowledge, April 4th, and that's going to be a date. That's going to be a date that's going to be in a history book for your kids and your kids' kids' kids. That's how big this is. We're going to win. We're going to win. It's going to happen. Bitch. Get behind it. Don't fight it. Don't. If something smells fishy, I'm always going to be like, something smells fishy. Do not get me wrong. But at this moment, when's Trump coming back? What is Trump's first tweet going to be when he comes back? It's going to be about himself. We know that. Some people on Twitter were like, it's going to be Kofefe. That's going to be Trump's first tweet when he comes back. That's going to be some crazy stuff, man. Talk about getting triggered. When Trump comes back on Twitter, I'm going to get into some of the more substantial stuff, but we got to take, I feel like I got to take some time to be like, this is dope. I can't, I got to take some time. I got to absorb this, have fun with this. This is it right here. When Trump's back on Twitter, what do you think his first tweet will be about? What is it going to be about? Himself is what some people say. MAGA and the blue check leftists that blanket this media will react. They're going to be triggered. The same BS. Yeah, okay, he's going to be on that BS. I don't know much about Truth. I hear he's not posting on Truth, so he might want to come on back to Twitter. Come on home. Let's go, Brandon. That could be the first one. I think that's a good one. Somebody said don't care. Okay, I feel you. Himself, yep. Kofefe is one of my favorite ones. Yeah, and the Kofefe is a classic. I mean, he'll give an endorsement to Elon Musk. I'm not anti-Trump, obviously, but Trump is not the most kind of generous dude in that manner. So I don't think he's going to, when his first tweet, when he comes back to Twitter, it ain't going to be to thank anybody. Let's just say that. For what? What is that? What is he replying to? When Trump gets, what would his first be for what? Hey, because I'm curious about it. And the point of me tweeting this is letting Elon know I have expectations. What's Alex Jones' first tweet going to be when he gets back on? Now, I'm assuming they want to come back on. I would want to. That's the battleground. It's not even a platform. Eric July obviously doesn't think high of Twitter, which is fine, but he's on there. He'll promote on there for sure. And I know Elon very well just as like a person from afar reading about him. I know him pretty well. Twitter a year from now ain't going to look like it looks now. It's going to be so exciting. And, well, we'll see what happens. Maybe it takes, because he's got to do a lot. I'm going to get into that. But at some point, Twitter's not going to look like it does now. It's going to operate in such a such a better way. If this happens, if this white pill happens, I hope it doesn't turn into a black pill. If it happens, it's going to be so good. Everyone's going to flock back to it. It's going to be up there. Elon Musk is doing this to compete with TikTok. He's not doing this to compete with Instagram. TikTok is the head honcho in social media apps right now. They are number one. Best algorithm. Period. Not even close. They will have you on there watching videos of dogs running in circles for 3 hours and you didn't even realize it. And they have a echo chamber for an infinite amount of things. You're into cleaning, TikTok, we got you. You're into politics, which subsection of politics, we got you. You're into furries, you like to dress up as Tom and Jerry and go to the parties Madison Cawthorn was invited to, we got you. If you enjoy anime, we got you. Comedy, we got you. Sports, we got you. Twitter, they're not even on that level yet. They will be, though. It's going to be hilarious. It's going to be big time. And for those who are triggered by this, there are people triggered and employees from Twitter. They're triggered. Go Google it. They're some of them are just triggered. Remember, Elon went on with Saturday Night Live, and they had to create special safe places. Really, all that means is a hole in the wall for you to cry on because we didn't raise you right as adults and your parents. I just saying. Hopefully, my kids don't need a safe place. If they do, I will take the blame. That's for sure. Elon Musk they didn't even know Elon Musk. Talking about they need a safe space. If I came up on anyone that I disagree with, even if a Yahtzee, face to face with the Yahtzee, I don't need a safe space. Let's have a conversation. I'm good with that. So the employees of Twitter were triggered. Brian Stelter triggered. They're triggered because Elon doesn't subscribe to their nonsense. Twitter employees were like, we don't know about our culture anymore. Well, I don't know. You could be right. Maybe there is a concern. I don't know. But you don't know either. You're triggered because you've got programming in your head that doesn't compute that everyone doesn't agree with you. And that doesn't mean that's a bad culture. He's going to make you money, you damned idiots. Like he did for employees at Tesla. You know, the ones that became millionaires have been working with him for 10 years or less with no union representation, while some of you on the populist left, no disrespect, but you're acting like clowns with this whole celebration over unionization of Amazon. You're celebrating the establishment leveraging against Jeff Bezos at the expense of workers. The way that you empower yourself as a worker is by making yourself more valuable. And a union doesn't do that. But my point is, Elon Musk will make you money, you idiot. But if you don't value money, that's fine. Money's not everything. I never said it was. Then resign and kick rocks. I don't need to see the virtue signaling. If you're really that mad, I'm talking to Twitter employees. If you're really that mad about, he only has 9.2% right now. You know why you're mad? Because you know that 9.2% means that there's this wave coming. Like the midterms and all the Democratic roaches are running to hide and retire. They know something's coming. It's a tsunami. Don't worry about it. Get a surfboard, jump on board, make some money, and enjoy freedom. That's what I recommend. You're so worried about Trump being banned and, oh, Trump might come back to Twitter. So what? Just block him. What are you worried about? If you're so worried about that more than anything else, just quit. And keep this in mind. Elon Musk isn't anti-woke. He's anti-woke, dominating everybody's goddamn life. That's why I'm hyped. Let's go. We're going to transition, get some comments in here. And we'll transition to what happened. The storm is upon us. Let's go. This Justin, thank you, sir. Eric Smith. It looks like he's drinking piss water. Yes. It's that type of day. Energy, man, I'm not really an excitable dude. But when this happens and I can see a vision, because I try to be positive. And, not all, I'm trying to be realistic, but I try to be, at the end of the day, like everything's going to be okay. We're going to win. And sometimes you don't really see how that's going to happen necessarily. You just have kind of religious faith that it will, just from the energy. And I see something. What is Osiris drinking? No, it is piss water. No, it's actually that. It's not an official sponsor. Monster, holla at me. Let's go. That could be a Twitter thing. Twitter could get really creative with live videos and sponsoring. I'm going to get to that later. I just want to get some comments on here. D. Oliver Elliott says Musk will pump and dump Twitter just like he did Bitcoin and Dogecoin, caveat emptor. Ooh, okay. Fire tweets. I don't agree, but you came with the heat and the fire, and you have reason to believe that. He pumped and dumped with Bitcoin and Dogecoin. My take on that, and I do have a video on the channel a while back from it, is that he didn't know the power of Twitter. I think he was thinking about buying Twitter. I had a video about that too, because I think he was going to get banned. So it might sound silly, but I think part of this 9.2% or $3 billion purchase of Twitter was just to make sure he didn't get banned. He got 80 million followers. He's posting all kinds of crazy stuff. I don't know if you saw the last one with the gunshot. Like, he was getting crazier and crazier. He was going to get banned from Twitter. I saw that coming from after Trump got banned. After Trump got banned, who was the number one target to ban from Twitter? It was obviously Elon. Anti-establishment, free thinker, went against the Dems in California. Oh, he was gone. Oh, he was going to be gone soon. And I noticed he started getting more edgy with his tweets. He's trolling us. He knew he was going to buy. He knew he was going to buy Twitter or buy a percentage of Twitter. He could still get banned now, but I don't think you want those problems. Here's one thing. You can talk about if you trust Elon or not, but one thing I will not do is bet against Elon Musk. So he might do pump and dump. You might be right. D. Oliver Elliott, thank you for the comment. I don't know, but I will guarantee you this. You won't see me bet against Elon Musk. The goal was to short Tesla. That was before they manipulated ESG into what it is. Now, they wanted to short Tesla to kill the company. And it pissed Elon Musk off so much he slept at the factory to make sure that the Model 3 could make it through production hell and to get to where he is right now. If they had the ESG back then, he would have been done. They would have got him the hell out of there. Even though he fits under the environmental part of it, they would have got him the hell out of there. He literally went to war with the SEC. That's anti-ESG. So This is a special day, man. I can't be hype every day like this. This is a special day. Every day can't be special like this. Eric Smith, I'm on the hiring function span of autism, and I thought I had intolerance for other people's thoughts, but compared to these 20 and 30-year-olds, I think I might need the diagnosis reassessed. Yeah, I feel you. They've got some anger in them. You seen them on these college campuses? But like I said, Elon Musk, if that fits you and you happen to see this video, he's not against you. He just doesn't want you to control everybody's life. Yes, the eco freaks are fake. Eric Smith says, so the eco freaks still would have kicked him out? Yes. If you look at Elon Musk, these different ESG scores now, recently, some of them rate Tesla high, some of them rate Tesla low. And in my opinion, I'm not saying that I know what happened, but my concern is with these lawsuits, Tesla's had a bunch of lawsuits that have brought in race. And the thing that makes me wonder is how much of it is real? Is it exaggerated? I'm not saying I know either way, but it's another way to attack the social part of ESG. ESG is very all-encompassing. So let's go into what. I want to talk about kind of the what. You already heard the news, but maybe just do a little bit on that. Elon purchased 9.2% of Twitter. This sale went through on March 14th. We just found out about it today. He is the largest shareholder of Twitter now. So he purposely, in my opinion, bought enough to be the largest shareholder, but underneath, if you buy 10% of a company, you've got to file more paperwork. If you buy 20% of a company, you've got to file more paperwork. So he might do that. We don't know how many shares he owns now. Notice he bought these, or basically he was buying shares and crossed the 9.2% threshold March 14th. Today is April 4th. He could have more than 9.2 right now. We don't know. We won't know until some of these filings you have to file within 2 days. And I don't know. I'm not an expert in all the SEC filings. They call this a passive stake. And I think people misunderstand that. In the context of the SEC filings, a passive stake, it doesn't mean you're passive. What it means is you're not doing a hostile takeover, basically. You're not doing any merger, acquisition type of stuff. So no, he's not doing that yet. We don't know what's going to happen. So he's not doing that yet, but he's the largest shareholder. So he has the ability at this point to put together a super team to add up these stakes, the shareholders. So this passive talk, this isn't passive. Elon Musk does not do anything passive. So it turned out, even though he doesn't have 51%, that's why people are freaking out, because they know this is just the start. Elon Musk doesn't invest in Twitter to be passive. You saw his tweets. It's just the start. And he already has a plan. Guarantee you that. He's not going to be running Twitter. He's more worried about SpaceX. His number one thing is to get to Mars. Period. Everything he does has to do with that, and this has to do with Mars too. His number one thing is to get to Mars. He's not running Twitter. He's barely probably going to be involved with Tesla, in my opinion. He just wants to make sure that autonomous driving goes through, Tesla bot goes through. Other than that, and Cybertruck, and other than that, he's good on Tesla, I think, at this point, because he thinks the people he has to run Tesla are good enough. So he's worried about SpaceX. Getting to Mars is a hell of a challenge. If you believe that we got to the moon, we haven't been there since '69, and he wants to get to Mars. Very, very hard challenge. Elon Musk is playing fast and loose with the SEC. There's a famous line on 60 Minutes where he says something to the effect of, I hate the SEC. He said, I have no respect. And you could see his face like turning beet red and his lips quivering. He was pissed off, absolutely heated, at war with the SEC. When you're at war with the SEC, you're at war with the institution, the government, the establishment, the cabal. He's straight up at war with. He's been at war with them. So that's why they're concerned for him to make these type of moves. He's trolling them though, because he knew that these shares were going through from at least March 14th. And all that Twitter talk about, hey, let me throw out this poll. Do you think Twitter has lived up to the First Amendment? When that Twitter poll had came out, he already knew he had bought the shares. But you can't tell anybody that, because I would have been buying Twitter stock options, because I knew it would have gone up. And I think there was, I didn't read an article. I saw a headline, because it's tangential, that there's some questions about who was buying options before this news came out. Because it sounds like I'm not allegedly. Who would you be surprised if Jack knew? And I don't know if he bought any or not, but they were having that conversation in public. Elon hates the SEC. He's in beef with them right now. The SEC said that there has to be lawyers or somebody to approve his tweets before they send them out. And Elon Musk was like, F you, nobody's approving my tweets. So I think he was trolling and saying the SEC knows and some other people might know, but I'm not gonna break any rules, but I'll just put this poll out here. What do you think about Twitter? And he didn't say he was gonna buy it. Everybody else said it. He was trolling us, because he did that before with what was the other troll? The tweet about, should I sell my shares of stock? He had already started the process. Remember, he did the poll. He did the same thing with this too. This dude plays some games, man. The SEC hates him, so the government hates this dude. He dropped $3 billion on it like it was nothing. So you know what was funny though? He dropped the $3 billion like it was nothing, and it brought me back to him and Grimes. Let's take a break to remember how cheap this dude is, and now we see why he tries to save every little penny. That once they found a hole in her side of the mattress. I'm assuming he has a pretty good mattress, so if it has a hole in it, something happened. Instead of buying a new one, she said, Musk suggested that they bring over the mattress from her home instead. And he could sneeze and the money would come out of his nose to buy the best mattress that's ever been. So what happened here is this is Grimes, the mother of his children. He's got 2 now with her. I believe it's 2. And she's at his crib and she's telling people like he's a billionaire, but he doesn't really flaunt his money like that. Our mattress had a hole in it. Been made in the history of the world. On her side of the bed, there's a hole on the mattress. And she's like, she's probably like, honey, can you order a mattress? Just hop on Amazon. I don't know. However you do it. You're a rich dude. Can you get a new mattress? And Elon's like, babe, don't you have one at your crib? Elon's like, what? Why don't we just get the one from your crib over here? And she's like, who am I with right now? Grimes is like, bro wouldn't even get a new mattress. Bro doesn't live like a millionaire. Bro lives at times below the poverty line, to the point where I was like, can we not live in a very insecure $40,000 house where the neighbors like film us and there's no security and I'm eating peanut butter for 8 days in a row? He got Grimes eating peanut butter. He's the richest man in the world. He has Grimes. I'm sorry. He has Grimes on the side of the mattress with the hole. Elon, bruh, you got your girl on the side of the mattress with the hole in it. Like you didn't even offer to like, okay, we can switch sides. Elon is so cheap. He's like, You can stay on that side. You can stay on that side until you bring that other mattress from your crib. Until you go back to your crib and get that other mattress over here. That's gonna be where you sleep. Elon, bruh, Elon, you're great, man. You're inspiration. I tell my kids about Elon. I tell my wife about Elon. But bruh, that's not acceptable, man. That's the mom of your children. Like, you got her on the holy side of the mattress, and she's literally eating peanut butter for 8 days straight. So we know now why he does that stuff, because he's like, I need every penny to get to Mars, and I might have to cop Twitter. And who knows? I might have to buy a lot of shares of Twitter. That's why he's saving up his money. So that's why he had Grimes barefoot, allegedly eating peanut butter on the holy side of the bed. And let's get serious for a second. What's happening here is a declaration of war. And I'm not talking about like hot with guns kinetic. This is a monetary business philosophy. He's going to war with ESG. What's ESG? I want to revisit it because it hasn't gotten a lot of attention in our country, in my opinion. And the attention it's got has been kind of confusing. So hopefully I make it clear as to what my opinion of this is. I want to make my point of this is I want to make my case for why I think Elon Musk is going to war with ESG. And that means that means Elon versus the world. It's not like Elon versus one entity. That's Elon versus anybody you hear say the words environment, social, governance, diversity, equity, inclusion. That's who he's going. He's going straight up war with them. And I'm going to start with this part of it here. There's a ton of these investment management firms, not a ton, but there's a large group of them. BlackRock is just one. So I'm just going to talk about just the one to make it easier to explain. They have more than $10 trillion in assets under their belt. I've seen even more with they have some type of proprietary software that the assets, the companies that use it, they don't control the assets, but BlackRock made the AI and the algorithm for it. So they kind of have control of those assets. So if you count everything they have, I think it's over 10 trillion. Elon Musk doesn't even have his 1 trillion yet. That's just one of the asset management firms. They're so big, they've got more money that they're managing than the GDP of every country in the world except for China and the US. So they make it known, this company, BlackRock, makes it known, we throw money, if you're public, we invest. If we don't invest, then obviously you're not going to do as well because we're the ones putting trills up. We don't talk about billions, we talk about trillions. So if you don't do this credit score that we like now, ESG, then we don't give you money. That's what it is. It's just like the mob, but disguised with the color of somebody's skin, disguised by the environment, disguised by obedient governance, obeying the government. This is straight off of the BlackRock website. The practice of incorporating ESG will help us make decisions to help enhance risk-adjusted returns. That's a fancy way of saying get on your knees. Elon's going to war against this. I talked about Showtime and their programming, and BlackRock invests into it. Substitute Showtime for Twitter. BlackRock's gotten bailed out by the government just recently. They used them to buy the debt of all the companies. I don't know if it was all the companies, but for companies that were struggling due to the pandemic. And then, so they bought out the debt to help those companies out. And then the government, taxpayers, American taxpayers, bailed them out. So that's literally fascism. So I don't know how people are using these terms, racism, fascism nowadays. That is fascism. Government linked up with private companies, and you don't know who's in charge. You can make a case that BlackRock is in charge of the government. You can make, I'm not saying, I'm just saying you can make the case. I don't want to upset the overlords. Companies get high ESG scores for a lot of things, not just race swapping characters and stuff like that. That's a minor thing. But it's hiring practices. For example, they go after the boards of these companies and they say, you don't have enough representation, LGBT or Latinx or color of skin. You don't have enough people like that representing you. You know what? You're going to need to pick this person that's down with us, and they fit an identity group. They're going to have to be on your board. It's very similar to China, that has a member of the Communist Party in most major companies, like literally in the company, to make sure you guys are obedient. If the money runs out, they get bailed out. It's a racketeering scheme that's perfectly legal. It should be unconstitutional, but they're doing it in plain sight. That's what Elon Musk is going to war for. So for me, sipping bottles right now, what that really is like is in Game of Thrones. Remember, they were having that party before the battle at the wall? They knew that they were in a crazy battle, and they knew they were going to be casualties. And this is not a hot battle or anything like that, but they were having their drinks and partying, even though they knew they were going to get into battle. And that's what this is. Musk can always say I did Johnny Depp's wife. Thank you for the $10 D super chat, D Oliver Elliott. This is serious. This is the battle that Elon Musk has chosen. I will be honest. I said it before that this isn't the path that I wanted him to take. This is not the path I wanted Elon to take. And Elon's much smarter than me, obviously. So I'm just giving you my pleb opinion that really means nothing. The reason why I didn't want him to take this path, because I didn't think Elon could go up against ESG. It's just too much. He's literally going up against the world. Literally. Anyone who supports ESG, from the globalists all down to our government, are again now. I don't know how he's going to pull it off. He's outmanned. He has a lot of friends in high places, but unless he has friends that I'm not aware of in the globalist agenda that can kind of shake things up, this is a tough battle. So there's no guarantee that he's going to win this. He's risking a lot for this, because they'll do anything to take you down. Any type of false flags, any type of setting you up. This is way orders of magnitude, to use one of Elon's phrases, orders of magnitude more dangerous than running for president. You're like, somebody runs for president like Trump and all them, like Biden and Trump both had allegations against them of bad things, doing bad things to women. When you get up to that high, Brett Kavanaugh had it. There's all kinds of, and I'm not saying it's true or not true. I'm just saying that's when the closets get looked into. And there's going to be all kinds of stuff going into Elon Musk at this. If you look at ESG, the Twitter, every company, so just go to Twitter or Google Twitter ESG. They all have this governance resources type of website. Every major company has it. If you want money from BlackRock and Vanguard and Morgan Stanley, you have to. This is not required from the government. This is required from BlackRock and them. ESG is not a government requirement. We don't vote on what that is. So they put this in here and they talk about it. This is all the impact report of the environment, health. We want people to feel safe on Twitter. So that's why you see the reason why Babylon Bee got suspended was their misgendering was considered violence. And I want Twitter to explain it, but in the past, I want them to explain it now. But in the past, they have said because certain groups are more prone to harming themselves when bullied or anything like that, we need to protect them health-wise. And that's why we consider it violence. So I did the TikTok where I said, If misgendering someone is violence, then why isn't calling Candace Owens a white supremacist violence? Because you're racially identifying her. The reason why is they won't say it. I want to force them to say it. The reason that I've seen is some groups are more prone to harming themselves than others, so you don't get protected. That's their justification. This very small part of this ESG, look how big, it's a lot to it. It's big. It's huge. You look at the people and culture here, it's inclusion, diversity, all your key words. You go into they have a separate report just for inclusion and diversity. And this is Paramount, all these major companies have this. It's kind of scary when you think about it, because if the markets were truly free of ESG and control, and I connected ESG to the government indirectly, every company wouldn't have the same report. They wouldn't be reporting on the same things. This is not a requirement. There's no requirement to report on this type of stuff other than to get money from these big companies. So they talk about genders, who's the representation. Now, it's not all bad, don't get me wrong. But, I mean, this is why people call it communism. It's like you're really being forced into the same belief system. So you look at some of the organizations that support Twitter. I just want to make sure I'm backing up my point that he's going to war with ESG. This is the company he bought 9.2% in. So I think there's a list here that I saw of all the companies, and here's all the companies in here. And nothing, I'm not going to say anything against them, but I'm just listing them off. They're all leftists, left-leaning companies. All of these companies in here go straight up to war with Donald Trump and MAGA. This isn't a diverse. They talk about diversity. There's nothing diverse about this from that standpoint, from the standpoint of ideology. There's nothing diverse about this annual report. So for Trump, for Elon to have to let Trump back, if he's about free speech, he'll have to do it. Or I'm going to just, I think a lot of people are just going to slam him at some point. He'll have a little honeymoon period. He'll have to sell his shares. Every one of these organizations is 100% against Trump. And when I say against Trump, don't get caught up with Trump, the name Trump, and like, oh, I'm against Trump too. No, what it means is they're against populism. They're against populists. They're against the people. That's what that means when I say they're against Trump, they're against MAGA. Trump doesn't have ideology. He's a mascot that represents people who are like, we want control back. Just common people. They're against that. All these groups are. So that means Twitter is against that. You see how this happens. So you wonder, how does Trump get banned from Twitter? How does Trump get banned from Twitter? How does that happen? How does it tie back into the government and everything else? So you look at let me see if I can find. So you look at the top owners of Twitter. Who owns Twitter? Number one, we know is Elon Musk now. Let's just look at the top 5 shareholders of Twitter. I'm going to put that up on the video here right now. I'm not looking at the chat right now, so I apologize if I miss any tweets or any chats. Top 5. Number 1 owner, this was as of January 16th. So the number 1 owner was Morgan Stanley. I'm probably waking my wife up. The number 1 owner is Morgan Stanley. They are wealth management, just like Vanguard, just like BlackRock, number 3. Asset management, they run $6.2 trillion. They own about 9.2% outstanding shares at this time of this article. So you wonder, why would you buy 9.2%? He wanted to it looks like to me he wanted to outnumber the number 1 investor. That's going to war, period. There's no other personal person I'm talking about here in this top 5, I don't think. Yeah. It's all these capital management asset firms. Elon's like his own asset management firm. But he can't mess with them. Look at this. Morgan Stanley, 6.2 trillion that they control. Vanguard, 7.2 trillion. We're not talking about billions anymore. That's how much Vanguard controls. We talked about BlackRock, about 10 trillion. State Street Corp, 3.9 trillion. I'm talking about the assets that they control. Elon can't go to war with that. Do you see why I didn't want him to go down this path? But since he is going down this path, I'll pick up a stick for you, bro. I don't know how I can help you. I didn't want you to go down this path. I wanted you to go down a private, because when you're a private company, you don't have to deal with these. Now, it's going to be harder for you to get big. Like Daily Wire would never become CBS. Maybe. I wanted Elon to maybe work with a Daily Wire, work with Gab, and kind of pool the resources together and do something private so you don't have to worry about these guys taking you out. I mean, if they need to take down Twitter, they'll take it down. I mean, these guys here were like, we don't get what's a couple trill to us. I mean, we'll tank Twitter. He's in dangerous grounds. So after we pop the bottles, you see how dangerous it is. Let me show you. So we're looking at Morgan Stanley here, right? That's the number one. And I accuse these companies of being anti-Trump. Look up every single one of these companies. They're all into ESG, and they're all anti-Trump. That means anti-populist. Every single one of them. These big investment management companies. So after J6, looking at, well, hey, what's going on with Morgan Stanley? How's Morgan Stanley doing after J6? Let's take a look. A quote here from Tom Glosser, Morgan Stanley's lead independent director. This goes beyond the politics, talking about J6. A lot of businesses people don't want to get involved because they don't want to bring politics into the workplace. That was in the before times. Remember when it was taboo to talk politics in the workplace? And then in the before times and the after times, it's only taboo to talk politics if you're on the wrong side. All of a sudden, George Floyd was a topic to talk about. All of a sudden, Black Lives Matter was a topic to talk about. All political. You just couldn't be on the wrong side, or it might be hard to find a place for you at a company anymore. Morgan Stanley was no different. This is the previously number one investor in Twitter. Morgan Stanley singled out members of the Congress. Why did I do that? Let me read that again. Morgan Stanley singled out members of Congress who opposed the move to certify President-elect Joe Biden's election win, pausing his contributions to them. So they're taking a political stance. And ESG, when did ESG's been around for, I forgot when it started. It started a while ago. ESG started a long while ago. It just started popping off really big recently after Trump, and it took crazy off into the social part after Floyd, after J6. So for Elon, if you're really about free speech, none of those top 5 Twitter shareholders that we talked about, none of them, Morgan Stanley, Vanguard, BlackRock, State Street, Pine Capital, none of them give a damn about the Constitution, the First Amendment, and populism. Populism, that's their enemy. They look at you like a cockroach that needs to be exterminated. They'd rather keep you around, but as long as you're not messing anything up. That's what he got into, and you see my concern there. So that's my what section. Let me take a look at the comments. Anybody still hanging around? I'm going. I'm not done yet. That's how big this day is. It could be me and nobody else on this live, and I'm not done yet. Irod, that ain't. Yeah, I wish. Irod312 says he should buy BlackRock next. He don't have enough cash for that, bro. I wish. Sky Queen, I think she's in the comments saying, "Oh yeah." Oh, Alex coming back. The whole gang coming back. Who else got banned? Alex Bernson got banned. And don't get me wrong, these aren't people I agree with everything they've ever said. I'm just for free speech. Nick Fuentes coming on back. Who else coming back? Marjorie Taylor Greene's personal account, she's coming on back. They better come on back, or it would be a failure for Elon Musk. But I'm not even entertaining that option right now. I think he knows a path. All safe is like, I got banned. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, why not? I didn't even think about like some of the other people who just got banned. Yeah, Allsafe got banned. You should come on back too. I mean, I think it depends on what happened. Not for you, Allsafe, but if I think the restrictions that I have that I put on it are as long as D. Oliver Elliott, thank you for the chat. He said Dorsey has 2.3%. Yeah. So let me talk about that. So Elon has his 9%. Could be more. He could easily buy more. And Dorsey has 2.3%. How many other allies that are high percentage earners does he have? Because he only has 9.2, but if he gets enough allies to get up to 51, booyah. He's not doing this by himself. We're probably going to hear news about other people. I don't know if ARK Invest, I heard ARK Invest sold their Twitter stock. I'm not sure. But they used to have 2% or so. So you got 9. You're already at 13%. If ARK still owns it, I don't know. But Elon has a plan. Bishop said I've been banned 4 times. I don't know. I haven't been banned. Maybe I've had good luck. I've had good luck on there. So I have not been banned. Just going back through, seeing what chats I might have missed. Bishop says, vote in your state primaries, get your family involved and friends, get the establishment politics out and replace them with populist candidates. We need to take our states back at the local level. Yes. iRod312 says, people are waking up, although slowly, but most people don't like this one bit. When are the people going to demand accountability by Sky Queen? It's up to us. And that's what I mean by bigging up Elon Musk here and setting high expectations is I'm holding you to those expectations. Don't think I'm not. I am holding you to these expectations. Why did Elon do this? Elon wants to make our species multiplanetary. That's what he wants to do. That's it. Everything he does, boring underground, the Cybertruck. Tesla was his flip from PayPal. I think it was 10 million from PayPal he had. I think he risked it all into Tesla. Why did he risk it into Tesla? Well, he wanted to do electric vehicles, and I don't know if he talks about sustainability, but I've always thought, I think it's more about Mars. You can't plug anything in on Mars. So what does Tesla have? Solar panels, so you don't need to plug anything in. Batteries to store the energy. Solar panels are not worth much, in my opinion, without batteries. So he has the solar panels, he has the batteries, he has the truck that can go on Mars, the Cybertruck. He's got the cars. So it's more about the batteries than even the vehicle. So he can do the batteries. Now he has the robots. Why do you think he has the robots? The trip to Mars is going to be really dangerous. And if people die, if everyone dies on the way there, it's going to take a while. First of all, it'll be sad. And there'll be heroes that making that journey like explorers from back in the day. But if a robot blows up or doesn't make it, it's not the end of the world. He could probably put a ton of robots on there, get them over to Mars, power them with the batteries from his company, Tesla, the solar roof, dig the tunnels with the boring tunnels somehow. It would be heavy to get it over there, but maybe he could get a boring company tunnel over there. Neuralink, to me, is about downloading your consciousness, and then Elon will be able to enjoy the fruits of his labor. He'll be able to live basically forever. I'm just speculating that. In theory, you could do that. we'll see if it works in reality. Do you see how everything connects? Give me a company. Starlink. Starlink's about getting internet to Mars. It's very simple. It's like a 5-piece puzzle. Every single thing has to do with Mars. So what does Twitter have to do with Mars? The number one threat to Elon Musk and that whole empire is the government. It's the same ESG people, the same globalist I was telling you about. Our own government hates Elon. They've barely ever said his name, barely gave Tesla credit. They want like hell to unionize Tesla. So the union obviously would be against Elon. Elon's made his employees millionaires with employee stock, many of them, stock purchase options. A lot of them like, union? Are you crazy? That's the last thing we need. They're like, I need a union like I need a hole in my head. A union? I don't know why you think we need a union. We didn't ask for one. It's because the union is a obviously establishment apparatus to control Bezos, Elon Musk. The number one threat to him is the government. Twitter and social media, all of these platforms are nothing more than extensions of the government. In the case of Meta, I don't know who's more powerful. Meta's so powerful, Hillary Clinton was intimidated by their power. So Elon's goal is to get to Mars, and the government's in his way. The number one thing he needs is money. He needs capital. But ESG is not about profits, it's about control. For example, if Twitter was about profits only, they would never ban Donald Trump because he brought people to the platform. That was an ESG type decision. I can't prove they made it because of ESG, but it was obviously everything on ESG is anti-Trump, so it's not hard to connect the dots. That was not a business decision. So Elon's coming in, and he's going to try to sell other large I don't want to use stakeholders because that's the ESG term, but large shareholders. We don't need this ESG BS. I can make Twitter make money as long as you get rid of this nonsense. We're going to do the right things. We're not going to be discriminatory or anything like that. I like the environment. I got batteries and all that. We'll deal with the solar and all that. That's not a problem. The government compliance will comply. He's going to say, but you know what? Why would you ban Trump? He didn't break any laws. He's a former president, and you've got all kinds of leaders from foreign countries that promote terrorism, literally, and they're not banned. Bring him back. I can make Twitter 5x in revenue or profits over the next few years. I can make Twitter better than TikTok. Here's my plan. Don't forget, Tesla is an AI company. It's not a car company. It's a tech company, a software company. It's an iPad with wheels. That's all the Tesla is. You get a base Model 3. You go in it. There's literally nothing in the car. Literally. Like no buttons, nothing. There's literally nothing in the car but a big iPad and the software on the iPad. They're an AI company. They're trying to solve autonomy for robots and trucks and cars. What's social media? All social media is a robot without the exterior form. It's AI machine learning. It's data. That's all it is. So Elon's already in that business. So he's like, I need this. And it's easier to take something that's already built than starting something from scratch in private. He's probably looking at the odds of success. My odds of success taking something private, probably low. I know the odds of fighting ESG are low, but I'm going to have to fight them anyway. And that's probably my thought on why he took this path. If the path to go private had a 50% success rate and the path to fight ESG was 10% like success to win, he would have went private. He probably looked at it and the private route was, I'm just throwing out numbers, 15%, and fighting ESG was 12%. He's like, okay, I'll just do that route then, even if it's close. And then there's the angle that Elon Musk doesn't have any PR. He has no public relations with Twitter. He is the public relations, basically. He got a couple people he hired. And you know who else is? If you're a Tesla fan, you're his public relations. So he has all his eggs in the Twitter basket. And he could get banned at any moment. Even now he probably could. He could get banned at any moment. They wouldn't want to do that now, though. That would be very bad. You just have him just buy the whole freaking company out at that point. So he's like, the risk here is big. If I'm banned, if Twitter does this algorithm, which he's looking at it and is like, a lot of the people that like Tesla and SpaceX, I don't know if they're getting a friendly shake at the algorithm. So I know Elon's not doing this out of the kindness of his heart. He's protecting his mission, his goal. And he's saying, hey, I don't know what the algorithm's doing. If you go on Twitter and you go into the Tesla community and Tesla fans, they will go and say, I feel like I'm being deranked. I feel like I'm being shadow banned. Some of them do the shadow ban test and will post like, hey, it's showing that I'm getting shadow banned. And that's Elon's PR. They don't buy commercials, at least in America. In China, they do a little bit. They've never bought a commercial in America, to my knowledge. When you see them on a commercial, that's someone else using their car for free, like Hertz. So Elon's protecting his PR. Jeff Bezos has the Washington Post. Elon's like, I think Twitter's more powerful. I don't want the Washington Post. The Washington Post got to go through me. I'm the curator with Twitter. Twitter has a great search engine too. So you see how this is all coming together. But I'm not gonna kind of make this prettier than it really is. It comes down to money. Like, he thinks he will make money off of this, in my opinion. And Elon Musk talked about it. And I'm going to talk about it in my last little piece here about what type of things you could see. What changes could you see to Twitter? One of the changes you could see to Twitter is cryptocurrency. Let me talk about money here and play this clip and talk about it.
You mentioned that Doge is the people's coin.
So he's been talking about Doge. I don't like calling it doggy coin. It sounds lame. Doge is how I'm going to call it. He's always been bigging up Dogecoin. It's not a joke. We don't know how much he owns of these things. We have no idea how much Bitcoin, Ethereum, Doge he owns. No one knows. So Elon Musk has billions and billions of dollars. And I don't know how much he has in crypto. And let's follow his thought process here and how, okay, I need to buy a digital platform and why he might need to do that.
Yeah. And you said that you were literally going, SpaceX may consider literally putting a Doge coin on the moon. Is this something you're still considering? Mars, perhaps? Do you think there's some chance, we've talked about political systems on Mars, that Dogecoin is the official currency of Mars at some point in the future?
Well, I think Mars itself will need to have a different currency because you can't synchronize due to speed of light. Or not easily.
So he's saying Mars is going to need a different type of money because of how long it will take. I think it would take the information, he might say it here, 13 minutes or something like that. So you can't really synchronize your currency if it takes 13 minutes from you to buying something for it to register with the banks in the U.S., in the Earth. He's talking about Mars versus Earth at this point.
Be completely standalone from Earth.
Well, yeah, because the Mars is at closest approach, it's 4 light minutes away roughly, and then at furthest approach, it's roughly 20 light minutes away, maybe a little more. So you can't really have something synchronizing. You know, if if you've got a 20-minute speed of light issue, if it's got a 1-minute blockchain, it's not going to synchronize properly. So Mars would I don't know if Mars would have a cryptocurrency as a thing, but probably seems likely. But it would be some kind of localized thing on Mars.
And you let the people decide.
Yeah, absolutely.
Some people can disagree with me. I think he is a true populist. That's why he laughed at that. He was like, who else would decide? I'm not. It's like, I'm not deciding. I truly believe that. Maybe you might call me a fool, but this is him being, he's a billionaire, but I still consider him a populist.
The thing on Mars.
And you let the people decide.
Yeah, absolutely. The future of Mars should be up to the Martians. Yeah, so I mean, I think the cryptocurrency thing is an interesting approach to reducing the error in the database that is called money. I think I have a pretty deep understanding of what money actually is on a practical day-to-day basis because of PayPal. We really got in deep there. And right now, the money system, actually, for practical purposes, is really a bunch of heterogeneous mainframes running old COBOL.
Okay, you mean literally? That's
literally
that's literally what's happening
in batch mode.
He is absolutely right here. Of course, I mean, it's Elon Musk talking about factual things, but he's talking about COBOL. He's talking about the old computer language. They're running the system on COBOL. So if you search here on financial, so COBOL is primarily used in finance, business, finance, and administrative systems for companies and governments. So the analogy I would use is we are at like the Xbox Series X, PlayStation 5. COBOL is like Atari 64. It's like Frogger. We got things way more powerful on our phones. That's how old it is. Many large financial institutions were still developing new systems in COBOL as late as 2006. The bank's representatives enthusiastically described a language that could work with a wide variety of environments, from banking to insurance to utilities. So they're still using this stuff. That's how old it is. That's what our money is. That's how the whole system of money is working. When they had the pandemic, during the pandemic and the ensuing surge of unemployment, several states reported a shortage of skilled COBOL programmers. They don't have enough people that even know this old programming language to support the legacy systems used for unemployment benefit management. Many of these systems had been in the process of conversion to more modern programming, which is a very difficult undertaking, but the process had been put on hold. The IRS rushed to patch its COBOL-based master file in order to disperse the payments from the aid from the coronavirus aid relief package. So the CARES package came straight from COBOL. That's where your money came from. So when we say printing money, we make the printer go brrr. I love that GIF. It's COBOL. What?
Okay.
In patch mode.
Yeah, and I pity the poor bastards who have to maintain that code. Okay, that's a pain. That's pain.
Not even Fortran, it's COBOL. Yep.
It's COBOL. And the banks are still buying mainframes in 2021 and running ancient COBOL code. The Federal Reserve is like probably even older than what the banks have, and they have an old COBOL mainframe. And so now, so the government effectively has editing privileges on the money database, and they use those editing privileges to make more money whenever they want, and this increases the error in the database that is money. So I think money should really be viewed through the lens of information theory, and so it's kind of like an internet connection. Like, what's the band?
This comment from Sky Queen is so based. I have to stop. Sky Queen states, BlackRock thinks they can win with fiat dollars. What do people need? Food and fuel. People predicting BlackRock getting out played and going down. That is, you got ahead of me, Sky Queen, and that's why I'm playing this. Elon's going to talk about what is really money. I think Elon's looking at the billions of dollars that he has, and he's not impressed. He's not impressed with the 200 whatever billion, and Tesla's gone way up, so it might be at 3. I don't know where he's at now. I do not think he's impressed by that at all, because it's all on paper. It's all fiat, meaning it's not backed by anything other than oil and guns. I think he feels crypto is the next thing, and maybe he's diversified somewhere else too. So I'm going to play that, what he talks about money here, and then tie it into how that might connect with Twitter.
With total bit rate, what is the latency, jitter, packet drop, errors in the network, communication. Just think of money like that, basically. I think that's probably the right way to think of it, and then say what system, from an information theory standpoint, allows an economy to function the best, and crypto is an attempt to reduce the error in money that is contributed by governments diluting the money supply as basically a pernicious form of taxation.
So both policy in terms of with inflation and actual like technological cobalt, like cryptocurrency takes us into the 21st century in terms of the actual systems that allow you to do the transaction, to store wealth, all those kinds of things.
Like I said, just think of money as information. People often will think of money as having power in and of itself.
You see it? So he's saying money is information. So he's really saying, he didn't say it here, but he's really saying, I got billions. I know that seems like a lot. I know it is now. But the way I view it, remember, he sold a lot of his property. When Grimes was talking about living in a $40,000 house, she was not joking. She looks young and sounds crazy. She's not stupid. I know she seems stupid. She was on with Hassan Piker and people were trying to make fun of her and stuff. She's very abstract. She's not stupid. That's why Elon's like, I don't need all this. I have some material stuff. But this money, I don't know. I've got to use it to flip it to something else.
It does not. Money is information, and it does not have power in and of itself. Again, applying the physics tools of thinking about things in the limit is helpful. If you are stranded on a tropical island, and you have $1 trillion, it's useless because there's no resource allocation.
Absolutely right. So you could give me $1 trillion on a stranded island. I'm still going to have to learn how to make a fire. Who am I going to pay? Even if there were people there, what's the $1 trillion mean to them? I still have to learn how to hunt, like Naked and Afraid.
Money is a database for resource allocation, but there's no resources to allocate except yourself. So money is useless. If you're stranded on a desert island with no food, all the Bitcoin in the world will not stop you from starving.
Yeah.
So, like just think of money as a database for resource allocation across time and space, and then what system is what in what form should that database or data system what would be most effective. Now, there is a fundamental issue with, say, Bitcoin in its current form, in that the transaction volume is very limited, and the latency the latency for a properly confirmed transaction is too long, much longer than you'd like. So it's actually not great from a transaction volume standpoint or a latency standpoint. So it is.
Okay, so I think that's the piece I wanted to play there. And after all that, so this is kind of the why did he do this? After all that, then comes, I do believe he believes in freedom. So I said that our interests have converged, but I don't think freedom, in my opinion, is his number one motivating goal. If he didn't think it helped him get to Mars, if he didn't think it helped his businesses make money and protect his businesses, he wouldn't have done it. So our interests converged. My number one interest converged with maybe his top 5. Freedom being at the bottom of that list because of all the information he has in the bank account. He's pretty free to do a lot. So that brings me to what kind of things would you expect from Twitter? I would say I think Twitter is, I'm going to end with this conversation here. Andre Karpathy is a Twitter employee, and I believe he runs the AI part of Twitter. And he said TikTok is like crack. He was blown away by TikTok. Said TikTok is like crack. The algorithm, everybody pretty know the algorithm is crazy on TikTok. That's who they're aiming for. They're not aiming for YouTube. They're not aiming for Meta or Instagram or Clubhouse. They might integrate all of those things and more slowly. It will take time, of course. But their goal is to take down, in my opinion, TikTok. Elon does not get into a business to be number 5 with revenue and profits. He's going to make the company more efficient long term. We'll see how he gets the controlling, if he does, get the controlling stakes to make these moves. And he's not going to be running Twitter. He'll have people that will do the stuff for him. But yes, they are. This is a comment that I got here. Eric Smith says, they are aiming for virtual crackheads. Yes, that is exactly it. TikTok, the whole goal of all these social media companies, and that's why the algorithm has to be public property and public. And that's another expectation I have of Elon. He talked about it. The algorithm has to be public. Everything. Open source at that. It is. The goal is how many people can we get to come to the app? That's why banning Trump makes no sense, because he brought people to the app. And banning people makes no sense. You're banning people on your app that you can make money off of. Makes zero sense. In a free market, a company really has no incentive to ban those people unless, somehow they're going to put the company at threat. The goal is to get more people back on Twitter. That's why Alex Jones could come back, Trump, Naomi Wolf, Alex Burns, all of them coming back. More people will come back. People who left. A lot of people left after the election. A lot of people left after J6. People that I used to like to follow. And they're on Gab and stuff, and I don't follow them as much because I can't be on every site. So he's back. He's going to get those people back, boost up the number of people on the site. Then the next thing is you want to keep them on the site longer. And then you want to make more money per minute, basically, that they're on the site. That's going to be somewhat of the plan. How are they going to do that? I think they're going to do that by, I think Jack disagrees with Twitter. They were talking about this publicly. I think they had a little bit of a disagreement where Jack didn't want the algorithm to be public and for people to be able to make their own algorithms. And I think Elon does. But imagine if you could go on to Twitter and I could get the M Ball. Thank you. He said, check out the Thunderfoot channel on Elon Musk. I'll check that out. Thunderfoot is dope. I just haven't had a chance to watch him in a while. So M Ball could say, "Hey, don't he?" So M Ball just shared with me, "Hey, go check out Thunderbolt if you haven't Thunderfoot if you haven't seen him." And I'm like, "Okay, cool." What could happen under Twitter is you could say, "Hey, check out my algorithm. It has Thunderfoot. It has all these other people that I respect in it." And you can, and then, so when I go on Twitter, I'll see what M Ball likes. Or you could have the stuck in the middle algorithm. And you could have like you log into Twitter and it's kind of like your lists, but it's more powerful because it's the algorithm. It knows what you like, when you like to like it, will like it, and how long, and all the data. So you could say, hey, this is the Eric Smith algorithm. I'm in the mood for it. Sometimes I like watching the establishment media. I'm like, okay, here's my establishment media algorithm. What are they thinking? Maybe I'll have a Tifa algorithm. What are they plotting? And that will bring everyone back because you could have, you would make Twitter whatever you wanted it to be. That's something that could happen. I expect that to happen. I expect him to do more with Twitter Spaces. I expect him to do more with video, more creative things with video. Getter, one thing about Getter only has live video for the special, elite of the elite on Getter, friends of Getter. It's in beta right now, so maybe they'll open it up. But I like their live part of Getter is really good. Twitter might be able to do that. I'm on Twitter right now, but they might make it better and make it a full competitor to YouTube. And Elon was talking about the money and crypto. So I expect Doge to be on there, crypto to be on there. And he might say, hey, I'll pay you more in crypto. What do you want? Fiat from YouTube? And Elon might say, hey, I'll give you a higher percentage. YouTube is banning people and demonetizing stuff. This live is going to be, every single live I do is demonetized automatically. Sometimes when I upload, it will stay as monetized. But my point is, Elon might be like, why are you dealing with that? Come on over to Twitter. We'll pay you in Doge. You can choose Doge, Ethereum, Bitcoin, whatever. I don't know a lot of cryptos. Those are the big ones I know. Those are the mainstream ones. You can get paid in them. And, Elon might be invested in all of them. He might have billions in all of them. And that use case and factor of using them might boost them up. And I might say, hey, maybe I just stop doing YouTube and I'm just on Twitter. Or maybe I'll see if you can do both. And he'll pay you more. So where are you going to be more active? You're going to have more users. You're going to be able to share algorithms out. You're going to be paid in Bitcoin. You'll be able to get tipped. Why doesn't YouTube have a tip option? They have it on live videos, and some special channels have a thank you option on recorded videos. But why doesn't every single video have a tip option? That's interesting. It's an interesting decision because YouTube takes 30%, I believe. So why would you not want to have a tip option? Because that might empower the videos people like. The same reason they took the downvote away is the reason why they don't have a tip option on every video. Elon might be like, I'll do a tip option on anything you want to do. Twitter has a tip option now for just random stuff, but nothing like for a video. Like right on the video, here you get your Doge for it. That's where you're going with this. And those little moves that will make money for Elon, it will be much more profitable than this ESG garbage where you have to be careful of doing stuff because the people might have too much power. It will make more money for Elon, the investors, and the people. Everyone would flock to Twitter. Everyone would be on Twitter, their primary social media site, long term. He has a vision for this, and I'm just speculating as to what it is. But I think that's the vision he has. I'm going to end with this, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. He could turn it into a store where you buy everything in Bitcoin, like to challenge Amazon. I mean, it's endless. We're talking about years out for like everything, but that's how Elon does it. Does it very efficiently too. So I'm going to end with this. I'm going to enjoy this moment. I see the potential of it. I see the vision looking down the tunnel long term. And I'm excited about it. I'm going to check out some chats here. Super sticker, thank you, Eric Smith, as always. Appreciate the support. $3. Thank you, sir. Thanks for coming through on the late night. I don't want to do it on the late night, but this was too important. And I would have done it in the afternoon, but my conversation with River, connecting with other creators, way more important than my excitement for this. Wouldn't have traded that for anything. What a fun moment to talk with River earlier. If you look on the channel, if you missed that, you'll be able to see it. I'm going to upload stuff to, I'll put the Clips channel in YouTube again, just in case, because I will be, some of this will actually go to a different channel, but some of it will go to the political stuff, will go to this Clips channel, just so I keep everything on this channel pretty much new, except I might do some like shorts that are repeated, the YouTube shorts. So let me look at the comments here and see. YouTube is getting to the point of Twitter censorship. Comments disappear. Yeah, they're pretty strict with it. And that would be another advantage with Elon's, and potentially. They will have algorithms. Elon, Tesla's a great AI company. I think they might be able to get the bots out of there, because to get the bots out of there, you have to care to get the bots out. Twitter doesn't care to get the bots out. YouTube doesn't care to get the bots out. They don't want to spend the money to. I think Elon would. We're a long way away from that, but I think that's the potential. But algorithms are not hard to make. When you plan out your day on your planner, you're kind of making, a very simple algorithm. See, we haven't seen these algorithms. How complicated are they? I think they're. So here, Eric, I think these algorithms are so, who knows? Maybe I'm wrong here. I think they're so in tune. TikTok will know what you want to watch before you watch it, based on the time of day, based on if you upload a video, and they can view your eyes and your mood and your emotions, based on your internet history. They've got so much data, it will literally know. Just like the dude, I forgot his name, the dude that is second in charge to Santa Claus in the WEF. He was talking about it'll be so good, it will know if you're 10% gay. Like that's not a simple algorithm. Like it's got to know what you watch, what prawn you like to, it got to know everything. And Elon wants that data too. Don't get it twisted. He can put that data into the Tesla bot, make it more human. Data is so powerful. You need billions of data points to train this AI. So thank you, Bishop. Great talk, everybody. Great chat. If I missed anything, I definitely don't want to miss a super chat. If I missed anything, sorry about that. But appreciate you stopping by. We're in for some exciting times. Let's go. Take care.